guys, more NFL gambling talk.
Man.
The hammer dropped again today. Let me show you the list of players that have been suspended. This is from Adam Schefter. We'll get it up on our screen momentarily. Here we go. This is an updated list of player gambling suspensions the last 2 years. Now, these are 1 year suspensions, meaning they bet on the NFL. Rashad Berry is added to this list.
He bet the over on his own team of a running back yards on a game. He put $1,000 on it.
Shouldn't you want that to be the case?
Well, I'm just saying.
Shouldn't you want that to be the case? Hey, I'm betting that I perform the best of my ability.
Well,
I'm messing. I'm joking.
I know.
So
lighten up. Man.
So Rashad Berry added to the list of guys who are suspended for 1 year. He was cut by the Colts, and if you look down, the offensive tackle from the Tennessee Titans, Nicholas Freer, I believe I'm saying that name correctly. He bet on the. He bet as well, not on an NFL game like Jameson Williams. He's in that category. Now, here, as far as the Colts situation goes, the Indianapolis Colts waived defensive end Rashad Berry and cornerback Isaiah Rodgers Sr. So Rodgers Sr. also in this. Here's the quote. We have made the following roster moves as a consequence of the determination that these players violated the league's gambling policy. This is from Colts general manager Chris Ballard. The integrity of the game is of the utmost importance. As an organization, we will continue to educate our players, coaches, and staff on the policies in place and the significant consequences that may occur with violations. So these two players specifically bet on their own team, and they are thus suspended for 1 year and today cut. Braylon, let's start with this suspension first. What do you make of guys betting on their own team? Not only the NFL, but betting on their own team. You can't do that.
I don't know what to make of it, and I'm sitting in the seats. The next step for me is I need to have conversations with guys that are currently playing that I know that I can get to, just to see what the concept is, what the thought process is. What have you heard? Because Ryan, it doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't make sense that this is the thing that has been continued. First, let me ask this question: when was this period?
Last year.
Okay, so now it goes back to this, because if I try to make a comment based off this, thinking it's another individual that's coming out the day after the individual before, the day after, or the week after, these have already happened, and we're just responding on it now because they're just letting them out now, correctly?
Correct.
If that's the case, then we're still at square one. Going back to the whole Jameson situation, is the NFL has to make sure coming into this season when they're so in bed with so many sports books, soon there'll be more at stake than that. They'll be in bed with some other things. They got to make sure the players know exactly what the rules are. However, if you guys don't want to change things, you got to make sure the players know exactly as it is, because to have players consistently come out, for people at home that are sitting down, like, it's easy for the guy in the car listening to the radio, or the guy or the woman listening to or watching our show and saying, like, why won't they just stop betting? Like, it's so easy to not bet. It just doesn't make sense. So what we got to do is know that these have already happened. These aren't new situations that are coming up, and we got to hope that the NFL does their job and providing the information and laying out the information for the players moving forward. Because every time you hear an instance, it's something different. It's another nuance. It's another hinge in how they got to play, or something over here. They got to be consistent moving forward.
This is like telling a kid, stay off TikTok. You can't make any TikToks anymore. Matter of fact, you can't make TikToks while you're in my house. It's almost impossible for a kid to not go on TikTok or Snapchat or even Instagram, especially influencers. They want to take pictures of themselves. All these teenagers taking pictures of themselves, where they are, showing off their vacation, doing this, doing that. A player has his phone. They're young men, these guys. Every one of these guys is a young kid. There ain't many veterans on this bunch. But nonetheless, it's so easy to just touch FanDuel or MyBookie or MGM and open it up and just look at the lines and say, oh, wow, tonight, Yankees, they got to beat the A's tonight. Oh, Herman's going tonight? Let me put let me put $100 on the Yankees and Ermanni tonight. It's so easy to do. But if you're betting on the NFL, and especially, well, it don't matter if you're betting on your own team or not. You're betting on the NFL, that should not be allowed. All the other guys should be exonerated for putting bets in on other sports. Exonerated. This should be pulled down, ripped up, rebuilt, stay off the NFL. If you want to bet something else, have at it.
Yeah, moving forward, like Ryan, you talked about the head coach making a statement before the season saying, hey, we don't need to do this. If you do this, you're gone or whatever. Obviously, it's not going to happen that severe. But I would definitely advise the position coaches to say something. Because as I'm noticing these lists, it's always the same 3 positions on the list. It's defensive backs, it's wide receivers, and it's running backs. There's the only 3 people on this list. There's 1 offensive lineman now. It's DBs, wide receivers tend to be the guys on this list. Tend to be typically the guys that get in trouble a lot. I hate it because I play wide receiver, and I hate it because we don't know what color these guys are. But I would advise the position rooms, you got to say something. Look, fellas, we don't need this SHIT. Like, we don't need this. We're trying to win championships. We're trying to win games. Like, are you really that distracted by gambling because it's always available, because it's always in front of you, because it's so easy to do? There are a lot of other things that are easy to do that aren't gambling, and you don't do them. So if I'm a position coach, I'm getting with these guys. I'm talking to them.